In this video, we will learn how to find the density of an irregular solid. So we know that this pebble does not have a proper geometric shape, so we call it as an irregular solid. So we will just recall what is density. Density is mass per unit volume of a substance. So is density a derived quantity? Yes, it is a derived quantity because we derive it using a formula. It depends on the fundamental quantity mass, which is divided by another derived quantity volume. So mass is nothing but the amount of substance present in a matter, in the material. So it is the amount of substance which you just find out using a balance. It doesn't need any formula. So mass is a fundamental quantity. How about volume? Volume is a derived quantity which we find out by using a formula, right? So if it is a cuboid, L into B into H. Then volume of a cube, we use S to the power of 3. So since it is derived from the dimensions, 3 dimensions like length, breadth and height. If it is a sphere, R to the power of 3 is used. 4 by 3 pi r cube is the formula that we use to find the volume of a sphere. So since it depends on the 3 dimensions, we call volume as a derived quantity. So again, density also becomes a derived quantity as we derive it by using a formula m by v. So what is its derived unit? We can just derive it from the formula. Mass is expressed in kilogram, volume is expressed in meter to the power 3, that is meter cube, which can also be written as kilogram m to the power of minus 3. Since meter cube is brought to the numerator, we are just changing the power as minus 3. So these are the two ways by which you can write the unit of the derived quantity, which is the density. Now we will learn how to find the density of the irregular solid. This is the pebble, a green pebble. So I have already found the mass of this irregular solid using a balance, electronic balance, and I have written it here as 3.3 gram. Right? Now we will learn how to find the volume of it. Right? So volume of the irregular solid is cannot be found using a formula. So we will use a method. What is it? Can you guess? Yes, it is the measuring jar by using water displacement method. We know that it is graduated. So this will occupy space, and as you immerse it by just tying it with a thread, you can definitely expect an increase in the volume of it, as this will occupy a certain volume, and this pebble will displace certain amount of volume which is equal to the volume of this stone. So first what we have to do, we have to just tie this stone or the pebble with a thread, and then you have to fill the measuring jar with a particular level of water. Note the initial level, and then you have to immerse this pebble using this thread into this water, and there will be an increase in the level. Note the final level. The difference in both the levels will give you the volume of this pebble. Am I right? So now I just found it using this measuring jar and the pebble by tying it with a thread. I've already done it. Now you can even try it home and using some graduated cylinders if you have. And I have found the volume, the increase, the difference as 2.5 ml. So there was an increase in 2.5 ml. So I found the volume of the solid as 2.5 ml or 2.5 cc can also be written. So both ml and cc are the units which we generally use. So we can just write it is 2.5 cubic centimeters. Now we have to find the density of it, right? So how will you find the density? D is equal to m by v. So what is the mass? I told you it is 3.3. What is the volume? It is 2.5 cc. So this is in gram and this is in cubic centimeter, right? So now the denominator has a decimal number. So what you have to do? You have to remove this decimal number, for which you have to multiply both the denominator and the numerator by 10. In order to remove the decimal place, since it has a denominator as a decimal place, you cannot divide. So what you have to do, you have to remove this decimal place. Since you have just one decimal place, you have to multiply by 10. If you multiply the denominator by 10, you have to multiply even the numerator by 10 so that the value will not change. So multiplying both the numerator and denominator by 10 doesn't have any change in the value of this number, right? So in order to remove the decimal, we are just multiplying. So this will become the 330, so point will come here, and this will become 250. Since it has a decimal place, you have to place like this. So just by multiplying that 10 with, 10 in both the numerator and denominator, we have removed the decimal. So now we got 25, we will divide it. 33 should be divided by 25. So now 25 ones are 25. So 33 minus 25 is 8. Am I right? Then what should you do? You have to add a 0, before which you have to place point, decimal place in the quotient. So it becomes 80. So it is 25 3s are 75. So 80 minus 75 will give you 5, right? Now already we have placed a decimal, just add 0, 25 2s are 50. So we have finished our division. So the answer is 1.32, right? So what is the answer? So D is equal to M by V, which is equal to 3.3 gram divided by 2.5 cc, which will give you the answer as 1.32 gram per cc. So we have found the density of this irregular solid. Hope you followed. Please learn the procedure of finding the volume, the density of the irregular solid. Thank you.